Hello and welcome back to All Things Money. I'm your host, David Blaine. Thank you for joining us today for the third and final segment of the show. We've been talking a little bit about IRAs, saving for retirement, 401ks, and the President's new budget proposal to put a lifetime cap. How will that affect you? If you missed the first couple segments, head on over to our website, dlblaine.com. You can get archived copies of the show there. How will it affect you? We don't know. As I mentioned in the last segment, the President's budget proposal carries no weight whatsoever, no weight of law, no weight of anything. Of course, there are regulations that the White House can issue to make your life miserable, but this is not one of them. I don't think you could regulate this. This would have to be passed by Congress. Anyway, so looking at a lifetime limit, accumulate, to target these, once again, these mythical wealthy individuals that have saved their whole life and now all of a sudden being told that they did something wrong, I think is ridiculous. So the limit for an IRA this year, individuals under age 50 can put in $17,500 deferral and up to $51,000 when you combine the worker and employer contributions. If you're over age 50, there's an additional catch-up contribution that you can put in. And so it's proportional to what you make. And the fear is that if these caps start getting imposed, that the people that establish the 401ks will stop having 401ks if they can't put any more in. And then, of course, then just like health care, then the federal government will come in and start mandating things. You know, I don't want to get down the road there. I'll depress myself. Anyway, so a couple other things, lifetime cap, a couple other things in its proposal that I want to look at. There's nothing to do planning-wise. We're starting to think about these things. If it starts to become a reality, we'll deal with it then. But a couple of things that in the proposal was the ability to limit these stretch IRAs, where when you inherit an IRA, you can withdraw it over your life expectancy. So if you inherit an IRA when you're 20, you've got a long time of tax deferral. The budget would force heirs other than spouses to empty the retirement accounts within 5 years, so you could no longer stretch them out. Now that's big. That is a big change. It's a big planning thing. On the positive side, I guess there's some small positive thing. The proposal would exempt IRAs and other tax-deferred accounts with less than $75,000 from the RMD requirements, which is age 70 and a half that you're required to take out a certain amount. So that's a decent proposal. Anyway, there's a lot there. We've got a few minutes left in this segment. There's something that I really want to get to, but we may come back to that whole topic of limiting the IRAs. All right, so you just finished your taxes, and you're sitting there thinking, hey, that's great. I did this. Something that I found, and we do the majority of our clients' taxes, and there was a new rule that was established in 2012. Now this is for North Carolina taxpayers. I realize that we have clients all over the country. We have people that watch the show and all over the country, but this is for North Carolina. If it doesn't apply, if you don't live in North Carolina, check your own state. Something similar may apply. If it doesn't, write your congressman, because this is a great thing. North Carolina is currently not a no-tax state like Florida or Texas. I wish it was. But this is a great step on the way to that. So in 2012, the North Carolina legislature passed a provision it's called the Adjustment for Net Business Income that is not passive. And what it is on your tax return, in your state tax return, an individual can deduct $50,000 of business income off of his taxes. A married couple, or if a husband and wife both have a business, you can deduct up to $100,000 off your taxes. It's an adjustment to income. So for example, if you made $75,000, you had a small business, you made $75,000 in your business. In North Carolina, you could just wipe away $50,000 of that income, and your income would drop to $25,000. If you have a husband and wife, let's say the husband made 50 and the wife made 50. And so your federal income, you made $100,000. You go to your North Carolina return, husband wipes 50 off, wife wipes 50 off. Your taxable North Carolina income is zero. I mean, this is a great, great benefit. It's a little confusing. It has to be active income. It cannot be passive. So a couple things. If you file as an LLC, there's some issues with active, passive, rental, real estate income is considered a passive activity. There are some exceptions. If you own an S Corp, a subchapter S Corp, an 1120, you file an 1120S, and a husband and wife own it, the IRS considers a husband and wife that own an S Corp as both active, and they did that to avoid some of the passive activity loss rules. Well, in this case, it benefits you in North Carolina because those are considered active. If you've got questions on this, feel free to give our office a call or email. This is a great benefit, kind of buried in the code. A lot of people aren't aware of it, especially if you do your own taxes or you have a tax preparer that's maybe not up on what's going on. It's a huge, huge benefit that you need to make sure you're aware of. I mean, if you made $100,000 in your business, you're probably in the 7.75% tax bracket, so that's worth almost $8,000 in tax savings. The North Carolina Department of Revenue website has a great directive that talks about this. It has frequently asked questions on it, and I'll read a couple of things to you here in the last minute. But net income that is not considered passive is the aggregate of all business income and losses reported on Schedules C, E, and F. In the case of income report on Schedule E Part 2, which is where your K-1s, your LLC, your S Corp come in, business income or loss is not considered passive, is computed by subtracting non-passive income from non-passive losses. We're running out of time here. Real estate, if you have real estate income, it gets a little tricky. You have to be an active real estate professional, otherwise it does not count. It's not considered an active activity. Real estate rental is considered a passive activity. All right, we're out of time. Maybe we'll touch on that again next week, but it's a great deduction for you. So for All Things Money, I'm your host, David Blaine.
The proceeding was a paid program. The opinions expressed are not necessarily those of WNBU and Inner Banks Media.